Hi, good evening. Today is November the 13th, 2024, and this is a short video that pertains to raising donations through a specific link due to security fraud that caused consecutive 24 years of incredible hardship, relocation, loss of my primary homestead, which was in Florida, and being screwed up. 1.8 million would be the realistic number, through security fraud that Merrill Lynch committed in Florida and Indian River County when they were the custodian and the account holder of an irrevocable James A. Gray and Pamela A. Gray trust. And so these assets were to be managed for 10 years, and it was a retail account that was in the range of deposits of up to 1 million. Their accounts are usually that range up to 2 million in the retail sector. So here's the link that I will provide. The goal of this video on Vimeo, which I will upload to another social media because time's money to me, I'm an aggressive type when it comes to recovering losses. The link is http://spot.fund/8S7WFTSC. And I'm Pamela Gray, so I'm the living beneficiary. And the daughter of James A. Gray. I'm the oldest child in that bloodline. And all my bloodlines were pretty conservative. They were Republican. Although I'm not a political type, I think politics is incredibly cutthroat. I always usually do vote Republican. I don't believe in any kind of fiscal mismanagement, especially in my own life. And Merrill Lynch did that. They bled an account. They violated the terms of the trust. They transferred the trust account to New Brunswick, New Jersey, where they also had an office, and that was done in 1995, the third or fourth quarter. I don't have that particular account documentation on me, so that's an estimated time. But the account was not to be transferred to New Jersey, and I had a forced relocation out of New York. I had filed bankruptcy before then. The property went into foreclosure, and even though nothing's wrong with my health or my mental health then, and it isn't now, then basically they were also responsible for paying the mortgage and paying the estate taxes, or not, the real estate taxes. And that's one of the primary reasons why this irrevocable trust was set up in a state that doesn't even impose income tax on individuals or people that live there and pass away. They only have the estate tax, which is pretty typical for all the states in this country. The irrevocable trust was set up to avoid any estate tax being imposed by the state of Florida, in this case, on the deposit amount of the estate holder, which in this case was my father. So these were smart investment moves to make. There's no reason why any grantor, once they die, should even allow any state to come in and collect the state tax on their assets. And for people that are worth over 1 million or 2 million or over that amount, I'm sure they're probably keenly aware of that. My father was, and my mother, who passed away in 1992, definitely were. So this is just a link to basically ask for donations. Several donations are definitely being sought after. Amounts of $50 to $500 in terms of being made consecutively in high volume to reach the fundraising goal of $150,000 within the next 4 weeks. That might be a lot of money to you. If it is, I don't know why you're watching this video. This is not an entertainment video. And if it isn't a lot of money to you, and it is a significant amount of money, but it's not a large amount of money to me. 20 million is a large amount, 30 million, 40 million, half a million isn't even a lot of money to me. Because when I look at the security fraud and I look at the loss of 1.8 million, I don't look at it like I was due that yesterday or tomorrow or a quick money type of raise situation. That was an account that was supposed to be managed for 10 years using non-load mutual funds, an asset that Merrill Lynch had. So the violation that was done alone, called security fraud in this country, is not only federally illegal, but this was a federal claim. And I knew there were some dirty things going on in Florida and in New Jersey. I knew they broke the terms and conditions of the irrevocable trust fund. My father had one of his lawyers put together, and they had no right to transfer that account legally out of the state of Florida. Just these were crooks that were looking to meet their quota. They admitted to doing that. Gary Schultz, the trust officer at that time, admitted to that. Bearable O'Hara, who was the broker my father used when he had a brokerage account, something else. I mean, I guess she has a boutique there that I would say, you see the name Bearable O'Hara, run for your life. Because the economy's changed since then, so, obviously 6% then, unless people want to risk more capital they can afford to lose, that's on you if you do that. But the trust fund was set up at a time when 6% was pretty realistic over 10 years. It was not an unrealistic expectation. And the assets were non-load mutual funds, and that was just an asset written by the Merrill Lynch Company. So it was not to be. These were deposits that were not to be farmed out to T. Rowe Price or another investment company that would impose their fees on it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, blah blah blah. As the investment market is now set up and structured. Some investment companies do charge a lot of fees for the money management. So that's another reason why the irrevocable trust was set up, knowing that it was a small retail account. It wasn't $5 million, it wasn't $4 million, it wasn't $2 million, it wasn't $3 million, but it was literally maybe about 100,000 shy of $1 million, even though I'm not going to technically give a number because I never saw the amount of money that Merrill Lynch imposed on that account for the fees alone. And when I was successor trustee, I literally had legal standing then to go after the full depository amount, and I did get my accounting and my documentation done, getting a clean lawyer that had integrity to literally file it and take it on a contingency because of the type of lawsuit it was on a federal level, being security fraud, was like climbing Mount Everest. So I knew there was some very dirty political crap going on in Florida, and in other states too, that because I could take this to other states. But anybody that is employed in that industry that has a problem and has no integrity and is prejudiced against women being wealthy, you have no right to even be in that industry. And I remember filing claims against the people that had the account to their different quote-unquote divisions that were supposed to be able to take away their licenses for security fraud. I don't know if they were clean. I don't know if they even did that. I don't know if they were just the type of people they procrastinate and really don't give a crap about the law. But I definitely was dealing with people that had no interest in the management of an account that they volitionally accepted. They had a choice not to accept. They could have said to my father, Mr. Gray, you have a significant amount of deposits here. You definitely exceed our minimum deposit amount, but we just are not in a position to take the account. We don't have a trust department set up, so we don't want to do anything that would impose more financial hardship or deplete any of your depository interests and capabilities in the future. I found out they didn't even have a trust account, that they had told my father they would have a trust account set up before he passed away, and they lied. So the point of it is I'm not green, and I am really one of these lizard poker face types, and I am not somebody that has a bone of forgiveness in my body, particularly when it comes to my money and my time. Like, why not just say what it is? Why not just say you're not interested in accepting the account? Why put the beneficiaries through this? My brother got his 165, and that was it. I mean, I definitely am not somebody that didn't seek every single method. Even some of the lawyers, they were just like, well, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. Get this accounting report done. I'll charge you $20,000. Pay me $20,000. Like, the blind faith crap is unbelievable. Some of the sales pitches. I said, you're a licensed lawyer? Show me your little license. You don't sound like a lawyer to me. You sound like you're hungry for the money. So I was able to see through what their game was then, and I'm definitely even more so capable of doing that now. This is a link that if you make a deposit, you should think to yourself, you just help somebody, not help, because I'm not somebody that seeks out help or donations for like a handout, but this is you're assisting me in reaching a financial goal that, as far as I'm concerned, is a drop in the bucket, even if 100,000 comes in, to what I literally lost through the mismanagement of an account that was literally close to 1 million, if not 1 million, and that these people were crooks with licenses to legally accept an account. Some of the lawyers were too. They were real stuck up on the fact they were security lawyers. And I'm somebody that when it comes to any kind of financial fraud, it's the violators that should eat it and get screwed for what they did, not the people that go through it. So consider yourself as someone who is not a criminal, not a crook, not happy to see this happen, and is assisting me in meeting a financial goal where I'll just expeditiously move out of one of the most crooked, corrupt northeastern states, and I am looking at states that are safer, much safer to live in than this one, and that are either Republican or Democrat, but I lean toward Republican. I have been a Republican for all my life. I like states that don't get hurricanes or tornadoes or in Tornado Alley or volcanoes or have incredible state taxes on top of federal taxes. So being a fiscally conservative person, and I never will live in Florida ever again in my life, and when I make a decision, I make a decision and I don't change my mind on that decision. When I pulled out of Florida, there weren't these unbelievable hurricanes like the Helena and Milton, and these are red flag. When there are 20 hurricanes in that part of this country, there's some very, very, very unfortunate demographic events that are happening, propelled by other parts of this South America. Because where does this garbage come from? Even if it's warm air, where does it come from? And why is it happening? And why is more of it happening fast forward 25 years than it did when I lived in Florida? So I'm not a geologist, I don't know, but all I know is that I want to get this money raised. Also, another really important goal of mine is to find a host that has qualified contacts. And all you have to do is email me, contactpg6767@gmail.com, or my second email, pamgray4@aol.com. I'll send you my pre-written letter that I wrote, that I edited, and my plan that's 5 pages that I rewrote, re-edited, and 20% to the host for the amount of money raised just for contacting his contacts and getting them to make a financial commitment that they would make directly to the spot link that is listed on Twitter and is listed on Facebook and is listed on LinkedIn. And that when somebody is cheap with money and they see this video and they can't even make a donation of $50, don't expect me to do anything for you in your lifetime, because I never will. And I plan on writing a book on the security fraud. Some of it is, the content is written, but what is mine is mine. I don't share anything. My credit was a 720. I had to file bankruptcy to protect myself in Florida. And, and that property went in foreclosure. It was worth probably, from the last appraisal I had done, which was a comps appraisal, $130,000. And it had a mortgage on it of $30,000, and the property taxes were paid on time. It was just a condominium complex, and it was around, again, 1,200 square feet. So when unfortunate events like this happen to my life, it was intentionally done by Merrill Lynch. And there should have been a lawyer that said, I'll take the claim and, we'll recover the losses plus the punitive damage. And, lawyers, if you really are a security lawyer with a bar license, you would have known what the F to do. So whether it went to lawyers in Orlando or Palm Beach County, they didn't take that case. They were always looking like little squirrels to find another excuse. And I said it might not be a 2 million or a 5 million or a 10 million, but the security fraud is security fraud is security fraud is security fraud. And Merrill Lynch's minimum was $250,000. And, this is just something that, number one, is on a federal illegal category of security fraud. It's way above state crime. And the broker, Gary Schultz, I don't know where he is now. I don't know where Bearable O'Hara is now, the initial stockbroker of the account of my father's brokerage account, not mine. And I am no longer a little dumb sheep that didn't know anything about security fraud or accounting fraud. I bought some books and I learned about it because I know that knowledge is power. So this video is really geared just to getting the donations and to see if the people that spend 2 more minutes on it tops are qualified to be a host, will know if you have the contacts, would be interested in sending me that email to the contactpg6767 or pamgray4@aol.com. Do not use social media. I am someone who values my privacy rights and discretion, and advertising this video, other than what I do, is never going to be accepted by anyone because you are not me. And so therefore, and my interests are my interests, they're not your interest. And that is pretty much it. If you are a host, I know you can get this raised and done a lot quicker than going through other means of waiting maybe 30, 60 days to get the donations made. Do I value people that make a donation? Sure, I've made donations in the past to charitable donations that I know are real and legal. This one is. And what I'm saying is factually backed up by documents I have. I plan on writing a book about it and eventually opening my own production company and doing a movie and a film about it. But that's down the road. So the point of it is that this is now. This is not like in 3 months. This is now. So when you make a donation, consider yourself to be a reliable, responsible person that is not someone that feeds off the misery of others or a perpetrator like Bearable O'Hara and Gary Schultz were. They had a choice to make. They made the wrong choice. They bled an account. They milked the account. And money doesn't grow on trees, and it doesn't disappear like garbage does into the air. And there was definitely depository amounts made that were missing from the final accounting I got done. And I believe in holding people accountable that do that if they have no legal right to that money. And they violate an irrevocable trust agreement that is, again, not only a document that I have proof of, but this is security law, federal level. So I respect security laws. I respect state laws. Being from Newtown, Connecticut, and Fairfield County, one of the wealthiest counties in this country, I was brought up by people that are also people that are Republican, highly educated, and respected laws and respected their own interests and didn't let other companies like Merrill Lynch screw them for getting away with security fraud. So if you make a donation, consider yourself to be smart and intelligent, and you've done something to help propel my future business objectives and to get them done in a quick, expeditious manner, I should say. And the state I live in now has, unfortunately, a demographic I'm not from and really don't ever have any interest in being around. So Bloomfield, New Jersey is where I live now, which is Essex County in the state of New Jersey. And you are going to be thanked for that. You'll get the receipt, and that amount is up to you. But obviously, by your donation, I will be able to propel my interests from relocation to other projects that I have at a much quicker pace. And I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for listening to this video, and enjoy your evening.